Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about solvency ratio. The second classification of ratio, accounting ratio, is solvency. First it was liquidity ratio. Second is solvency ratio. So why we calculating solvency ratio is solvency here related to long-term solvency. That means the business is in a position to pay back long-term liability or not. We are assessing through solvency ratio. That means business is in a position to pay back their long-term debts or long-term liabilities or not. We are assessing through solvency ratios. The main solvency ratios are debt equity ratio, total asset to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and interest coverage ratio. So which are the solvency ratios? First, debt equity ratio. Second, total asset to debt ratio, proprietary ratio, and interest coverage ratio. So one by one we can explain. First one is debt equity ratio. Debt equity ratio we are calculating by debt divided by equity. Debt means long-term debt or long-term liabilities divided by shareholders fund. So from this ratio we are comparing our long-term debt with the shareholders fund. Okay. So how to calculate long-term debt is long-term borrowing plus long-term provision. In long-term borrowing we know normally coming debenture, bank loans, long-term bank loans. Long-term provisions normally it is related to provisions related to retirement benefit of the employees. These all kinds of items will come under long-term debts. Okay. So long-term debt means long-term borrowing, normally debenture and bank loan plus long-term provisions. Shareholders fund, how to calculate is equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus. It constitutes shareholders fund. How to calculate shareholders fund? Equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus. Or another equation you can apply for shareholders fund, that is non-current asset plus working capital minus non-current liabilities. So non-current assets plus working capital minus non-current liability. This also for calculating shareholders fund. Then working capital, how to calculate is working capital is equal to current asset minus current liability. Okay. Now second solvency ratio is total asset to debt ratio. This how to calculate is total asset divided by long term debt. So we are comparing two figures, that is total asset to long term debt. This ratio also for finding our long term solvency or company in a position to pay back long term debts or not. Long term debt how to calculate already we said here in this equation. Okay. Now third solvency ratio is interest coverage ratio. Interest coverage ratio how to calculate is net profit before interest and tax. That means earnings before interest and tax, that is EBIT. EBIT means earnings before interest and tax divided by interest on long-term debt. Its meaning is with the available profit, company is in a position to pay interest on long-term debt or not. But if with the available profit, company is in a position to pay interest on long-term debt or not, that we are assessing through interest coverage ratio. Okay. Then proprietary ratio. Proprietary ratio equation is shareholders fund divided by total asset. Shareholders fund we already studied how to calculate, that is equity share capital plus preference share capital plus reserves and surplus is shareholders fund and upon total assets. So relationship of shareholders fund and total asset is proprietary ratio. So these are the four main solvency ratios. One is proprietary ratio, interest coverage ratio, then total asset to debt ratio, then debt equity ratio. These all ratio, that is all the solvency ratio we are representing in is to only. If your answer getting 1, we will write 1 is to 1. If answer is getting 2, you will write 2 is to 1. So you always remember standard or ideal debt equity ratio is 2 is to 1. Okay, the ideal debt equity ratio is 2 is to 1. So these equations very clearly everyone have to study without any confusion. Thank you very much.